Look, he's up there. Ask. Excuse me. He's up there. He's up there. School. Maybe they're gonna just like let us watch this up here. I like play, but watch. And I said we can commentate. Oh, I feel so comfortable. I'm so locked in. We don't know how loud I was. Throw some more up there. Relax him? Yeah. What does it say? Ball! Coach Eric is there. Just go. You act like we're gonna get checked out. So you still in Gatorade Cup. Look at your fat head. Vibrant is fair enough. Oh, Musa's captain. Musa's captain. Finally. Where's Rama's son? Where's the old captain? Bongo? Yeah, Bongo. He's not again, I don't know. He's on break. You get Musa. Okay. Don't see Rama right now. Yeah, Rama did not start. He was good. Well, let's just go over stuff. What are you? You gotta go back. Okay. If you go ask them, even say that, I'll give you all my games. Okay, good. Yeah, I'm actually not my skills. I was just joking. Are you joking? Yeah, this guy's fearless. What did it say?
And good afternoon, fans, and welcome to the Tennessee Tempo FC Sports Network. I want to quickly apologize as we're about a minute or two behind from where we would typically like to start, as well as the lights were, as that gave us a bit of a delay. But with that said, joining you on the broadcast tonight, my name is Harley Dixon. Happy to have you along for our first UPSL broadcast of the season. I hope if you're turning in from watching our Open Cup upset on Thursday that you enjoy the stream almost as much, albeit I don't know if I could enjoy a game as much as I did that, Eric, as my broadcast producer sitting across from me running the camera. In swinging corner for Tempo, headed out by Watts, and a shot by Roskov will fly over the bar. First real attempt of the game from Tempo. I do have my starting lineups here on my phone. Not quite as pretty as I would normally like to have them, but we can run through it none the same. For Tennessee Tempo in goal, Kimo Gardner. Reading across the back four, you have Justin Ventura, Danny Sassano, Musa Gay, and Alex Carrillo. Reading from right to left. In the middle, you have Mo Jagny and Mikhail Roskov. I'll just call Mike affectionately from now on. Attacking midfielder, Stanley Grandpierre, Nico Riveros, Seth Otuani, and up top is going to be Harrison Watts. It's Riveros' delivery, second post. Otuani tried to bring it down, unable to at first. No, that's Grandpierre, excuse me. Grandpierre on the ball again, attacking down the left wing, gets dispossessed by the Tennessee United defender. This will be the season opener for both of these teams and the home opener for Tempo. I do have starters here. I'll have to gingerly go through them as I don't know these names quite as well for TUSC, but I want to try and give them their credit. I don't know the number in goal just yet. As soon as I can put my binoculars on and see, I'll give you who that is. But number 2, Kevin Figueroa. Number 3, Cam Templeton. Number 4, Sam Pomeroy. Number 6, Evan Zerwinski. It's a big name that I don't have a pronunciation for, but we're going to run with Zerwinski. Number 10, Cade Good. Number 11, Aaron Johnson. Number 17, Dylan Atnip. Number 22, Kyle Solon. Number 26, Max Hunt. Number 29, Giovanni Padron. And number 42, Nan Thang. Tempo, of course, as I mentioned, took down Chattanooga Red Wolves, the USL 1 team, in the opening round of the U.S. Open Cup proper. So I'm assuming we'll probably have a couple eyes out of the ordinary just from that game alone. Hopefully we can keep you a fan of this UPSL team who just won the Spring National Championship, essentially this time last year. A little further into the season, obviously, as we're just now kicking off, as it's just about to tick over into April. Right now, March 21st. That's Grandpierre down the wing, tries to play it in the middle, looking for Otuani. It'll skip past him. Watson Riveros connecting. Good tackle in the middle from TUSC. Thang will drop it back. That's Figueroa outside. Figueroa's dispossessed. He'll play it back, and it'll be cleared by the United defender. Carrillo tries to header it outside, ends up going out. Now Sassano in a foot race with Max Hunt. Unable to cause any real drama so far. Now Ventura going down the near sideline as Tempo is attacking from left to right as you watch it, wearing the red from top to bottom as you'll typically see. Now Riveros down the wing, looks to deliver across, still with it. Cuts back, still has it. Now with Otuani, shot from range. Jagny will go long. A long-range effort. Tempo mostly been in TUSC's half. This is a game that Tennessee Tempo have won a good several times in a row, but United always seem to give them a good game. Never really many blowouts. Always some great performances from both teams. Out of Drakes Creek, I believe it is, where we play games there. I have to check the memory banks on that one. We'll have a goal kick now. Low-driven ball. Header won by Otuani. Watts follows it up. Now it's Roskov looking to deal it forward on the wing to Otuani. No, Grandpierre, getting them mixed up. Grandpierre still with it. Lays it off for Riveros. One-touch pass, searching for Watts. Again, the shot. And Stanley Grandpierre was there to follow it up, but his effort will range wide. It's just about 6 minutes into this game, and but about one of those 6 have been played in this offensive half. Tempo don't have quite the same lineup that they had on Thursday, as you could imagine, having to play against a professional team. A lot of gassed players. So wearing the captain's armband tonight with the header right there will be Musa Gay. typically captained by Nathaniel Badai, affectionately known as Bongo. Tonight, it'll be the Senegalese center back there leading the back line as well as leading the team with that armband. Now Figueroa will have the throw in for United. As a short option with Thang. Plays in the middle, that's Max Hunt. Winning it's Roscoff, now Gay with it. Gay plays it forward for Grand Pierre. That's good in front of him. He'll look back, dropping it to Carrillo. Pressure on one side from Gay. He goes back to his left back. Tempo doing what they do well, controlling possession. Roscoff looks outside for Sassano. Sassano played a lot of games in the UPSL for Inter Nashville. Now Gay will look to play it forward. Giving chase is Grand Pierre. Several TUSC defenders in the area. It's initially cleared out by Sam Pomeroy. And now charging forward, I believe that's Templeton on the far sideline, but his ball will find no avail as it'll trickle all the way back to Gardner. Skip pass from Carrillo has Sassano with an acre of space in front of him. Now with Gay again. If you haven't watched much of Tennessee Tempo, you got to see a bit of it on Thursday, but you'll see even more of it in the UPSL where the team loves to control possession. Like in all sorts of play, it can be a double-edged sword having a lot of the ball, but Tempo also can put the goals in whenever they need to. Gay looks for a skip pass. It's deflected. Deflected in the middle there by number 11. That's Aaron Johnson. Ball over the top, searching for Watts was Rozkov. Unable to find him. Still need to get a number on that goalkeeper. I swear my eyesight doesn't let me down too often, but it's a black number on kind of a dark purple jersey. Kind of hard to see back there. We'll reset again as United tries to go long. Nothing doing as Gardner's right there for it. The defense will once again try and build from the back. Just trying to exploit options. Not exactly a high press from TUSC. They're letting Tempo build all the way up to that halfway line before they give any sort of pressure. Carrillo again with the skip pass. Has Sassano. Gay steps into the attacking third. Plays it forward to Ventura. Can Ventura keep it in? He does. Then it will be headed out by Figueroa. Left back tonight for TUSC, at least to start the game. Quick throw in from Justin. Has Sassano. Back again with Gay. Big switch coming from the Senegalese man. Finds Grand Pierre. Grand Pierre put on the floor. Good tackle. Roscoff wins it. Roscoff tries to play it back. He's going to be dispossessed by Johnson. Johnson with space. Step over. Still with it. Big tackle from Carrillo. Wearing the number 23. He gets beat the second time. There to follow it up, though, is Musa Gay. Great initial effort from Carrillo. Johnson would not be denied, though, until the backup effort from Gay. Wait for the throw-in from one of the midfielders here for TUSC on that far sideline. He's going to take too many steps forward. Our center ref here tonight will whistle him back. Referees, it seemed like the last season or so, have really been picky about letting players take too many steps forward. Jagney's header's played into the middle. Players off sides. I believe that was Thang that's going to be whistled, but a little bit of a spark there from TUSC starting to settle into the game. Now Thang was just whistled off sides, going to pressure the ball. Sassano skip outside to Carrillo. Carrillo eyeing up a long ball, puts it on his preferred right foot. Lays it off short for Gay. And then off to their third center back in Sassano. Now the long ball effort, searching for Ventura. Will only find the TUSC goalkeeper. There are a couple of faces in this team who saw some action there on Thursday night, including Gay, who played a full 90. Across the line, you also had Danny Sassano on the bench. Seth Otuonyi played, if not the full game, played close to the full game. And in front of him and beside him, you have two more attackers who saw a lot of action. Stanley Grandpierre, who was unfortunate to pick up a first-half yellow card and saw a quicker exit to the game than I think he might have preferred. But in front of him, Harrison Watts came off at the half, but gave some really, really great minutes through the first 50 or so with the added time. Ball outside searching for Grandpierre. Grandpierre somehow keeps it in, still charging, and eventually they will say it goes off the foot of the Haitian. Did everything he could just to keep that ball in play at all. I'm impressed with the effort. Better defending, though, as now TUSC will have a throw in deep in their own half. Just about maybe 5 steps, make it 6. And he pauses, make it 7, 8, a few more steps forward away from their corner flag. Carrillo, strong defending, wins it but hits the deck and will be whistled for a foul is number 29, that being Giovanni Padron. Again, I ask that you have some patience with me, as these away teams typically don't give us a roster till pretty close to game time, so I'm working with what I got. There are a few faces that we've seen around, like Cade Good, like Non Thang, like Pomeroy. We've seen them the last several seasons. That'll be a tempo corner as Justin Ventura looks like he'll be the one with the right-footed effort. Have to see if anybody else steps forward. Doesn't look like they will. Ventura will send in the in-swinging corner. Players are littered all across the box. At the first post, Harrison Watts near the PK spot. Mo Jagney, Otuonyi, as well as Gay, delivered in. Nobody there, cleared out. Sassano's there. Tries to put it outside for Riveros. Nico still with it. Ball still in play, sends in the cross. And there, now we will have a little bit of a late flag called as that ball went out of play. I have to say, I was a little bit surprised that they let play go on as long as they did, because I did think it was fairly clearly out. You can hear head coach Gifton Dom telling the team that they're all walking. I would say it's because they have tired legs, but there should be some fresh legs on the field. TUSC, this will be their season opener, and I know they had bowed out of the Open Cup sooner than this. I believe lost to Southern Indiana. I could be wrong saying that, but I feel relatively certain, if not another team in our division bowed out to them. Gardner plays in the middle. Roscoff, big touch from the Russian. He wins it back, played to Gardner. Gardner left foot ball, another bad touch. And now Good slows things down. Looks in the middle. Thang tries to play it forward. And Tennessee Tempo FC sloppy with the ball right now. Not what you want to see if your head coach Gifton Dom or associate head coach Rob Jepson, as that was 2 or 3 bad strings of passes that you cannot afford to have against top teams, let alone a local rival like TUSC, who I'm sure are just itching to put one past a national champion from just a year ago and a team that just knocked out a professional team from the U.S. Open Cup. Great delivery, good touch from Ventura. Ventura's in space. Big tackle there from Pomeroy. Ventura's touch led him just a little too ahead, and Pomeroy was able to make that recovery. Good pass forward from Jagney. Back heel Ventura. Forward to Riveros. Riveros can cross. He does. On the floor, Watts shoots. 3 points in American football. Nothing here on the soccer field tonight. Playing at Siegel High School in Murfreesboro, Tennessee. Lovely weather. Cooking in the press box. Thankfully, it's cooling down a little bit. Running a 2-man crew here. Joined alongside Eric Dorsey, not on the mic. Doing lovely work on the camera. Trying to get him on the mic eventually, fans. If anybody knows Eric Dorsey, put a comment in here. Say we want to hear Eric on the mic, on the call. Foul in the middle by Mo Jagney. Going to be whistled back to about the 45-yard line. Played quickly. Johnson on the right wing. Cuts in onto his left. Gets his feet tangled up. Tackle won by Seth Otuonyi, and it'll go out for a throw-in deep in Tennessee Tempo defensive territory. Looks like it'll be Johnson who takes the throw unless he elects to drop it. Sometimes surprising to see wingers take throw-ins. 3 or 4 back to defend, really not looking to get beat on the counter is TUSC, but 3 in the box looking for a long throw. It's not a bad long effort. Headed out by Gay. That's Roscoff. Pass forward to Grand Pierre, who's charging, has Watts ahead of him. Cuts it back, nearly drops the defender. Still with it is Stanley, yelling for options. Now he'll take his space. Finds the feet of Watts, who turns and keeps the defender off of him. Grand Pierre on the floor saying that he was smashed after the play was over. And now there's going to be a yellow card presented to somebody. I believe that's to the right back for United, being Giovanni Padron. Stanley let out a big yell. Now we'll have our athletic trainer step out onto the field. Stanley's a big-time player. Gave us some good minutes in that first half against Chattanooga Red Wolves, and all the credit in the world to him, as he was a vital cog in the wheel that kept this team moving through the UPSL National Tournament that the boys in red were able to win. I'll quickly step away for about 30 seconds, grab myself a quick water break. Hopefully, fans, you are enjoying. We're just about in the 19th minute of action here, as this game is still all knotted up at 0-0. We rejoin you as it looks like Grand Pierre was able to get up on his own accord. I don't know if he'll have to step off the field or not. The rulings are always a bit funny to me, but there was a foul committed on the Haitian. So I don't think that he'll have to step off, because the trainer was only brought on because of the foul, and it looks like we will stick that way as we restart. Jagney with it outside to Sassano. Jagney been with Tempo for many years now, has done well coming off the bench and starting. He appeared in that UPSL National Championship game, came on late. Sassano again. Danny, I did some research about whenever I was prepping for our Open Cup run, and played his soccer at Northern Illinois, excuse me, as well as Maryville College in Maryville, Tennessee, not too far across the state. And he's since lived in and around the Franklin, Nashville area. Grand Pierre with it again on the wing. Defender pulls him back. There's got to be another foul, and I think that's Padron, and Padron's going to be really lucky not to be sent off, and he's going to get himself a stern talking to us. He just picked up a yellow card. Yeah, our center ref puts his hands up and says no more. Captain Good for TUSC trying to appeal, but that's something you really cannot do, especially just after you were given a yellow card for a late tackle, then to pull the very same attacker back. Whenever I call these games, I try to be relatively neutral, give all the fans a fair viewing experience, but in that case, Padron has to do better. And it'll be Nico Riveros with the set piece. 6 or 7 players in around the box. Delivery punched out. Roscoff tried to hit it on the half volley with this weaker foot. And Mike, I would tell you myself, not your best effort on the weak foot, but Tennessee Tempo with another shot. TUSC will restart with it. Pomeroy eyeing options, pressed now by Watts. He looks long. Gay allows it all the way through to Gardner. Wisely done by Musa. Again, fans, if you're new to Tennessee Tempo FC, we thank you for tuning in here on the Tennessee Tempo FC Sports Network. We hope you all are here to stay, or if you're a TUSC fan, we hope you can get some enjoyment out of it. That's Grand Pierre with it again on the wing. Drills it into Otuanyi. Otuanyi looks to leave it for Stanley. Stanley has it. Back to Seth. Cross into the box. Well handled, and there's another ball on the field. I don't know how that managed to happen. Not really sure what happened. Eric, did you see that? I'm not sure. Well, nonetheless, it doesn't make a difference as the goalkeeper had it anyways. Not really sure what happened there. And now the goalkeeper will pick it up as Watts delivers just enough pressure. He'll look long. Sky-high punt just past midfield. Brought down by Padron. Roscoff has it with Carrillo. Carrillo retreats all the way back to Gardner. Sassano in the middle to Gay. Watts had the touch, loses it, and that's someone in the middle. I think that's Max Hunt. Indeed, I do think that it was Hunt who was fouled by Roscoff. They'll restart play right now on the 45-yard line, 46-yard line. Wait to see where the ball did eventually stop rolling, and there it was. Looking long is TUSC. Sassano's there for the header. Great jump and reach there. Now Riveros turns, looks for space, plays it to Roscoff. On the floor to Grandpierre. Grandpierre with a defender in front of him. Cuts inside onto his right foot, dancing around two defenders. Now Mike again takes the shot. And it's going to sail wide, but it did take a deflection, as I have to think maybe if that didn't take a deflection, that could have forced a save. Mike has not looked too bad so far in this game. I think this is his first start for Tempo. He may have got one in our preseason run-up, but wasn't able to beat all of our games for that. That said, he's delivering tonight, has looked sharp. It'll be Ventura's cross. Three players at the first post, Otuanyi, Watts, and Gay. Now Gay moves to the second. Drilled in, someone's there. That was Grandpierre who got a foot to it, but again, skies it over the bar. And right now, has to be said, Tennessee Tempo FC's finishing ability is kind of letting them down. Have had a few different attempts on goal that you could have done more with, and right there, Stanley on his stronger foot tries to put the insole of his shoe on it, and again, puts it between the posts, but sadly, can't score field goals in this sport. We need to see it in the back of the net. TUSC start with Watts aiming the press to the defensive right side. Plays it through the middle. That's won by Jagney. Now Riveros. Good initial touch and a great tackle from TUSC, and then try to play thing forward, but losing it in the middle yet again. Figueroa thought he had something working. Couldn't find his way past. Now Justin Ventura with a long throw in to Musa Gay. Gay takes his space quickly. Has Carrillo. Now Grandpierre defended by Padron. Sassano with a lot of space. Plays it on the floor to Ventura. Cuts inside. Lays it off for Jagney. Cameron enjoying some of the ball. That'll be a throw in for TUSC. Right back delivers. Johnson tries to touch it ahead to Max Hunt, unable to deliver. Now again, Sassano, if I haven't said his name enough tonight, finds Ventura, who I feel like I've said 100 times as well. And Grandpierre tries again. Well won by Padron. Padron, if memory serves me correctly, had played for Paul DePay before in the UPSL, so a name that I know has been around. He's trying to visit all the teams in the Kentucky-Tennessee Conference. And Grandpierre going to be whistled for a foul and a yellow card of his own, as gave a little bit of a forearm shove there to Non Thang. The two of them are able to dap it up and keep playing. But while I say that, we have Nico Riveros on the floor, looking like he's in some pain. Harrison Watts says to bring the trainer on, and our center ref here follows suit. Hopefully Nico is fine. Nico's had a couple really good games for Tempo, and he's just continued to get better and better. He lays back down just for the moment. See, we have sent a player to warm up. 2 players in the warm-up area for Tempo. Nobody down there yet for TUSC. Approaching the 30-minute mark of this first half. In the 28th right now. Both teams have been dealt 1 yellow card. TUSC maybe 2 as I say that, but at least 1 yellow card to both teams now. Riveros is able to stand. He's taking some steps. Hopefully, at worst, he can finish out this first half, but have to see what the future holds for the Paraguayan. If you saw our Instagram, you would know that if Nico played baseball, his walk-up song would be Monaco by Bad Bunny. So if he scores a goal tonight or in the near future, I'm going to have to try and play that for him here in the stadium. Some really fun songs there, picked by a number of our players. Ali Marley, who's not here tonight, he had a good one. We Ready by somebody now, I forget. Play starts back with Sam Pomeroy after a little bit of a delay. Header initially won by Carrillo. Charging forward is Gay. Roscoe brings it down. Rightly called a foul on Aaron Johnson. Now Gay restarts, has Carrillo again ahead to Roscoe. We restart with a similar play to what we ended with, but at least this time Musa is upright. Sassano over to Carrillo again. Now Grandpierre with a mile of space in front of him. Hunt steps to deliver some pressure. Grandpierre cuts back now. Nearly slips, still with it is Grandpierre. 2 defenders in front. Delivers across. Second post headed out. Roscoe brings it down. Takes his space, flicks it forward, left foot over to Grandpierre. Grandpierre one-on-one. Looks to deliver across, cuts it back down. Now, again, dummying across and across and across. Lays it off for Roscoe. Roscoe, left-footed ball inside. Watts is there, headed out by TUSC. Johnson was there. Puts it ahead for Padron. And Padron extends his arm and slapped Mo Jagney right there. And Giovanni Padron, you're not making a fan in me right now with some of the things that you've done in this game so far. Not that you care or that it matters in the first place, but right there was able to win the ball from Jagney and then just raised his arm and kind of slapped him as he was going through. It looks like we will have a sub come on. Don't know who it's going to be on for or who he'll come on for. Wait to see as Jagney's able to step up on his own 2 feet. I believe that's Kai Phillip. Was it Nico? I think it may have been Nico that came off. I don't see him out there. Of course, he just went down injured not long ago. Hopefully he is all fine. Roscoe will eye up the set piece. Outside quickly, there's Ventura. Ventura with options ahead. Still on his right foot. Cuts back onto his left. Shouldered off by Thang. Lays it off for Roscoe again. Now Jagney. Lots of pressure from TUSC. Tempo still with it for the time. Ventura in onto his left foot again. Gets past one defender. Looks outside. That's 0-2-1. Can he keep it in? He can. Back to Ventura. Delivers across. Takes a deflection. Phillips there now. Watts. And that one's in the back of the net. Tennessee Tempo FC strike first in the 32nd minute. Justin Ventura and Seth Chijoki Otuandi were linking up down this near right sideline near the corner flag. 0-20 put it back in for Ventura. Ventura crossed it in, took a deflection, an initial header from Phillip, I believe, and then followed up right there by Watts. And Harrison Watts opens up the scoring for Tempo as we're not long past the 30-minute mark. Have to see how TUSC can respond. They've done well defending a lot of the storm that is the Tennessee Tempo attack. But now you'll have Kai Phillip with some extra fresh legs here in this first half to play with. Cade Good with the tactic that you see every now and then, not super often, but kick it down on the opposite end of the field and look for a mistake from your opposing team rather than trying to play the ball yourself. Seen it work before. Pomeroy and Phillip in the same area. Now Otuonyi, all kinds of pressure on him. He has Gay in the middle. Back with Carrillo. Carrillo, the Gardner-Webb product, from one college player to another in Stanley Grandpierre. Stanley taking all of his space. Tries to play Kai Phillip through. Doesn't have him the first time. Now big collision between Johnson and Jagney. Play continues. Stanley with a great tackle. Grandpierre playing everywhere right now. Feels the pressure from Johnson. Keeps possession just the same. Now Sassano again will drop back to Gay. If you think I'm saying our defenders' names a lot in this game, it's probably because I am. Whenever we have possession of the ball, you'll see that so often. Rio escapes the pressure from Johnson, given away by Gay. Padron doesn't quite have the size, though, to get past Gay after his touch led him astray. Otuonyi runs through. Ventura cuts inside with Roskov. Left-footed skip pass over to Grandpierre, has Watts ahead. The Haitian dribbles forward, takes a deflection, and now one right back by Watts as it is nearly one back by TUSC. Ventura, the catalyst of much of the attack tonight, has Roscoff. Good left-footed ball in. Phillip tried to play a one-touch pass inside to Otuonyi. Didn't find him this time. Now Ventura will do it all again. Seth lays it off for Mike. Travella pass on the floor to Grandpierre. One-on-one with TUSC. Tries to deliver across and takes a deflection. It'll be cleared. Carrillo's in the area as well as Jagney. Jagney wins it. Jagney's pass leads Sassano astray and back, but possession is kept either way. Good calm head on Danny. Doesn't panic whenever the ball wasn't quite in his path. Now Carrillo with it on that far sideline. Right back to Danny as I say it. Otuonyi dropping in deep. One thing you'll see about this lineup is structure isn't massively rigid, even though it is incredibly rigid, as ironic as that seems to sound. Looking for Ventura. I don't know if Justin can keep that in. It's going to go just long. But as much structural integrity as this team has, players can switch in and play each other's positions quite often. Otuonyi wins it. Two defenders next to him, still has it. Forward for Ventura, cuts inside, right-footed ball. Deflected, and now at the foot of Good has Non-Thang forward. Let the play develop again with Grandpierre. The wingers have been incredibly involved tonight. Tempo controlling possession so far really from the beginning to the end of this first half as we're just ticking over into the 37th minute. As said, we're playing here. We'll play all of our UPSL home games tentatively. Things could always change, of course. I don't want to say it's a guarantee, but we should always be playing our home games here at Siegel High School in Murfreesboro, Tennessee. So if you're tuned in and you want to watch in person, make your way here through Middle Tennessee and come see some excellent soccer, as there are plenty of cup sets here in the first round of the U.S. Open Cup. So you know there's good soccer across every level, and that's a big physical challenge from Pomeroy. And Otuonyi is going to have to scrape himself up off the floor. Quick throw in from Ventura. Sassano has it. Again with Carrillo now. Back with the most central defender. Sassano really comfortable with players in front of him. And again with Grandpierre. Searching for Phillip. Phillip tried to keep that ball in play, but wasn't quite able to. And TUSC will have the goal kick. TUSC were a little bit passive at certain points in this first half, but now trailing 1-0, they're going to have to get players forward, and it looks like this is the way they're going to try and do it with these long balls. Roscoff is there, though it'll be Sassano. Won by Jagney, dropped to Gay. Defending up top is Hunt. Tempo enjoying the ball. As Ventura, Otuanyi charging. Seth cuts in with Thang in front of him. Now Roscoff has Watts. Watts' ball is going to be behind Grandpierre. Be a throw-in for the Hendersonville side. Quick throw-in going to be played out by Carrillo. A number of Cumberland players here on the field, as Cumberland is a place I got my master's degree from and currently work at. Alex Carrillo transferred out from the Phoenix, played with the Gardner-Webb Bulldogs in one of their most successful seasons in school history. And, of course, TUSC always seem to have a whole host of Cumberland players joining them and in and out of their ranks. Is on the field right now. Cade Good, wearing the captain's armband, was a 4-year player for the Phoenix there in Lebanon, Tennessee. Ventura has it, defended by Figueroa, crosses in, and Cade Good blasted out of play. It'll be a corner for Tempo. Other players on the field from Cumberland include Max Hunt, current JV player for the Phoenix, wearing the number 26, and Non Thang, wearing the number 42. I don't know if there's anybody else on the bench or just names that I'm forgetting from my 3 years now with the Phoenix. It'll be Justin Ventura's cross near the first post, but headed out. Otuanyi, Watts. Ventura tries to pass it inside. That was a clear handball to me. Play continues. Otuanyi with Gay. Gay to Jagney. Jagney gonna have to play quick. His pass nearly intercepted. I think Hunt probably would have rather taken that ball and ran, but he'll be happy to have possession either way, as TUSC will have the throw in as we're in the 41st minute of the first half. I can't assume there'll be too much stoppage time, maybe 4 minutes. There's a couple injuries and the one goal, of course, but besides that, not a massive amount of time to be added on that I can think of. Ventura with space ahead. Now with Roscoff, slick pass inside. Otuanyi with a little bit of space. Curls in onto his left foot. There to Phillip. Now Otuanyi sets, shoots. What a paw right there from the TUSC goalkeeper, as he had to get down quick onto his stronger hand side and was able to poke it out, but excellent play combining there in the middle as Phillip tried to connect and make something happen with Otuanyi, and they just about did make something happen. It's going to be a really pretty give and go if it went. Should be Grandpierre's corner. Delivered towards the second post. Gay giving charge. Musa keeps it in for now. Musa showing off the tricks. Now with Ventura. Ventura still has it. Can cross it in. He does. Second post. Bicycle kick attempt from Carrillo. What an attempt that would have been if Alex got that to go. Kind of a scissor kick, bicycle kick, something, whatever it was. I love the effort. Now Stanley dancing with his defender, makes him jump. Back again. Ole, ole, he hits the deck. We keep playing. Grandpierre takes a shot at the near post. I think that right there is what you call a highlight reel play from Stanley Grandpierre, as he was wanting to score the goal right there. Of course, you want to make sure you win the game, but I think Stanley was wanting something to show some pro coaches. Say, I can do it anywhere. I can do it in the Open Cup. I can do it in college, or I can do it here. And Boy, he just about did it as he gave the defender a free ticket to the turf. Now we continue with Otuandi, and that's a big shoulder from Pomeroy. Pomeroy's done that twice now. He's going to have to be careful, I would think, as this is, of course, a physical game, but you have to try and play the ball right there. Only a little bit of foot aim for the ball, but a lot of shoulder aim for the shoulder. I say that, but if I know anything about sports, I'd say rubbin's racing, so you got to be willing to play through some physicality, and Kai Phillip mishandles the touch, steps on the ball, I think tried to stop it and hold up play, unable to. I don't know if that'll be a tempo throw-in or a TUSC throw-in. 43rd minute. This first half is nearing its end. Looks like it will be a tempo throw-in. Grandpierre quickly turns, looks for Watts, drops it back to the Haitian. Eyeing a big ball forward, still has it. Now he will push it. Phillip in space. Goalkeeper's there. Goalkeeper will handle it. Not a bad attempt, though, from Grandpierre. Now they'll blast it forward again. Big touch gives possession right back to Grandpierre. He'll have another attempt as he's been dancing all over this floor. Well won by Pomeroy, who's been all over that back line. Now Roscoe forward to Otuandi. Otuandi with Figueroa and Pomeroy both in the area. Drops it for Ventura. Ventura's cross, not quite handled, in a dangerous spot now. Headed to the opposite side, and it'll be a tempo throw. Yeah, you're right. Whichever fan said that in the stands. Way to go, Justin. You're having a great game tonight. Cam Templeton in the area defending as Harrison Watts. Hunt now transferred off to the big man in 22. Chested down. That's Watts. Watts will shoot. It's deflected, and it will go out for another corner. Have to see if it's Grandpierre who takes it. Looks like he'll be the one with the honors. Officially in the 45th minute, so very rarely do we ever get any kind of word on what the added time is. I'm looking maybe 2 or 3 minutes. Left-footed ball in from Roscoe was really nearly dangerous. That developed without me even realizing it. Roscoe had looked to find Otuandi near the first post. Sassano in a danger area, gets a shove in the back from Padron, and Padron again pulls a defender off. And Padron will score. I can't say that I love it, but a good finish from Giovanni Padron as he pulled Danny Sassano 2 separate times, and it doesn't get called, but that's just the way the cookie crumbles sometimes, and this game is now at 1-1, as it looked like this first half was going to go into the death at 1-0. And now you're going to have to see how this Tennessee Tempo team can respond. 1 shot, 1 goal, as you hear somebody in the stands say right there. TUSC find a way to make it happen, and I don't know if they're going to try and play for a draw again or not, or if they're going to try and throw players forward and try and get themselves more goals in this game. I assume all this is going to do is give some confidence to this TUSC team, but I really feel a little bit hard done by for Danny Sassano. You could complain and say you got to be stronger, Danny, but right there, I think he was very clearly pulled off the ball. Again, though, that's the way these things happen. It could go our way, and I'd be happy as heck to see it. Grandpierre with it still, dribbling through defenders. Left foot, takes a shot. Deflected out, and that should be a corner for Tempo. It is. Now the boys in red need to find a way to respond as this first half is coming ever closer to a close. Stanley will deliver the in-swinging cross. Aims near the PK spot. Sassano's there. Puts the header on goal, but it will be reined in. They're looking to go long to Padron again. Gay with a big header outside, and it'll go into the bench of TUSC. You can clearly see the identity and the motive here of this TUSC attack, as they're just going to try and pump that ball over the top time and time again, and it's worked for them once this game. I don't think that we'll see much of a stray from those tactics. It'll be Goods throw in. Header flicked on. That's Jagney, has Ventura. Ventura quickly ahead to Roscoff. Roscoff with numbers ahead. As Grand Pierre, big tackle from the TUSC defender. Now, if the official said 3 minutes of stoppage time, we're in the final minute. It was definitely enough numbers to count on one hand, so it can't be more than 5 and can't be less than 1. And as I said it, we're in the 3rd minute of stoppage time, and this one comes to a close. It looked as though Tennessee Temple FC would take this 1-0 lead into the half, but Giovanni Padron finds a way to strike as time was just ticking over into the 46th minute of this first half. And with that, Tempo's lead is diminished from 1-0 to a 1-1 draw. Fans, we'll be back in roughly 15 or so minutes for our second half of action, but we hope that you've been enjoying tuning in to the Tennessee Tempo FC Sports Network as Tempo and TUSC are tied at 1-1. And welcome back, fans, as we rejoin you on the Tennessee Tempo FC Sports Network. About 2 minutes into the second half, we were trying to figure out our scoreboard, so I'm sure you all probably, if you were tuned into the stream, saw a bit of funky things going on with our online scoreboard there, but got it figured out well enough for at least for the rest of this game, hopefully. With that said, hopefully you're tuning in for both the first and the second half of this UPSL opener here between Tennessee United Soccer Club and the home Tennessee Tempo FC. Mikhail Roskov has the ball for Tempo. We'll play it back. Musa Gay's header will go straight in the sky. He'll pop it up yet again. That time it goes over the head of everybody. We're in number one in the middle. That's an American thing if I've ever seen it. Number one not being the goalkeeper. Now second post. That's Padron again. Padron dispossessed. Tempo can run. Harrison Watts has Kai Phillip ahead. Big tackle from Johnson. Now Grandpierre. Grandpierre dispossessed, got stepped on. Now TUSC are attacking. Figueroa ahead to Padron. Padron's onside, takes the shot. Big save from Kimo Gardner. Tennessee Tempo are looking slow to start this second half and didn't look particularly great to end the first half. This is a team that needs to be reinvigorated, need to find a flame. As right now, TUSC are the ones on the front foot. I don't have a list of all the subs that were made at the half. I'll have to try and peek on the field. Seeing number one, Randy Reichenberger. I know he was subbed on for TUSC at the break. Long throw here from Johnson. Gardner handles it. Aaron Johnson does have a pretty good throw on him. Roskov has Grandpierre. Grandpierre gets past Figueroa initially. It'll be, no, that's not Figueroa, excuse me, that's Cam Templeton. Field's flipped on me now. But it looks like Figueroa won't actually be in the game anymore. I think that's former Tempo player Moses Mupenzi playing left back right now instead of Figueroa. That'll be cleared by Templeton. Carrillo with Gay and Sassano at the back. In the middle for Tempo, Mo Jagny, Justin Ventura, Mikhail Roskov. That's Kai Phillip. Kai Phillip brought down. It looks like referee going into his pocket for a yellow card. Now another given to Tennessee United as Kai Phillip was nearly not quite through on goal, but threw down the sideline by himself, dragged down, and sacrificing the yellow card will be what I think is Sam Pomeroy in defense for TUSC. Sadly, I'm hardly ever able to get confirmation for that kind of stuff, but that said, several yellow cards across the table. This game all knotted up at 1-1 after a header from Harrison Watts put Tempo ahead early on. Well, I shouldn't even say early on. It was about in the 30th minute or so. But TUSC were able to respond right as we were ticking over into stoppage time, getting a goal from Giovanni Padron. This will be Mo Jagny's delivery. Near the floor, snuck through. Side kick from Ventura, and that's in the back of the net. Justin Ventura with the shot of a lifetime. I thought there was 5 defenders in front of him that it could have deflected off from, but Justin Ventura with the assist to begin the night, and he scores the second for Tempo on what was a rocket of a side volley. I feel like every time you see those balls, sadly, you see them go sky high as it's so hard to actually keep one on the floor. But right there, Justin launched that one into the back of the net, and Tempo put themselves back ahead 2-1 in the 52nd minute of this game. TUSC had been looking the better team in the last several minutes, but right there, Tempo showed just how dangerous they are as putting a ball into the box, taking a couple ricochets, eventually bounced right out. And Cade Good going to surrender a goal kick straight off of the restart. I can't say really whether I'm a fan or not of that routine. I don't think that if I was a coach, I would have my players do that off the restart. I'm not a coach, though. I'm happy to admit, don't want to have to make the decisions that either of these teams have to make. But right there, you give up a goal and then just give the team the ball right back. misplaying your long ball attempt, trying to pin Tempo in the corner. And now big challenge from Johnson. Carrillo on the floor. Johnson stood over top of him. Carrillo gingerly getting up. His teammate Gay telling him to stay down if you need to. It doesn't look like we'll need a trainer, but just kind of got dead-legged there. Not quite able to restart just yet. We'll reset again with Gay. Leading the line all the way up top for Tempo is Kai Phillip. Just in behind him, Harrison Watts. Giovanni Padron patrolling as the most forward player for TUSC. Creo on the floor has Grandpierre. Grandpierre defended. Now Phillip. Phillip tries to flick it forward for Stanley. Still has it. On the floor, Phillip again. Now Roskov. Roskov has a big switch if he wants. Stead plays it through the middle to Stanley. Touches a little bit big. A lot of contact there on Grandpierre. Play continues. Roskov back to Jagney. Has Sassano. And Gay with pressure from Padron. I don't know how many times Padron's tried to get past Gay, but he's been unsuccessful every time tonight. Now Gay all the way back to Gardner. Gardner has Sassano outside. Appeals for a handball. Ball over the head of Watts, put forward by Pomeroy. Now Jagney. Jagney with players on all sides. Gardner going to blast it outside, looking for Grandpierre. Good on Stanley, able to get to that ball, dispossessed by Johnson. Now Roskov and Grandpierre in the same area. Mikhail Roskov is playing his butt off tonight. Compliments to the Russian as he has been supreme on the field. Really impressing me. This is the most minutes that I've actually been able to see Mike play in, and he has not let me down. Tempo again doing as they like to do, trying to enjoy the ball, enjoy possession. The less running you have to do, the better. Just moments ago, it was Justin Ventura with a rocket of a volley off his right foot that went all the way through for the second goal of the game. Carrillo, lovely left-footed ball forward for Phillip, but on this turf, not going to do you any favors as it's going to skip and slide a lot of the time. Now yellow card gifted to Cade Good, the captain here for TUSC. Has to be for some kind of dissent. I didn't see much of what was happening as it wasn't really around the ball. The referee blew his whistle and stopped play before we could continue to hand the card out. Wait for play to restart. Think we're about to get the whistle. I was just double checking here with my stats crew here next to me. The TUSC has at least 3 yellow cards. In my mind, I feel like we missed one, but at least 3. That, of course, isn't their fault because they weren't the stats before this. But with that said, Tempo just with 1. Apologies for stepping away. We're back now. Playing in defense is good. He'll ping a long ball forward. One right back by Jagney. 0-20 trying to play it ahead. Takes a deflection, and that's Templeton. Now with Roskov. I don't know that Mike's got the speed to get to that, and he does, and he just gets better and better tonight. Does Roskov. Now 0-20, Phillip. Ball forward, Grandpierre. Johnson tries to get past his defender. Gay is going to clean it up. Play dangerous ball back. Padron's through on goal. And Padron's going to have a wide open net, and he'll make it 2 on the night, as that was just not the pass he needed to see from Musa Gay. And this game is tied right back up at 2-2. A mistake that you cannot have from what I would say is your best defender on the field and wearing the captain's armband in Gay. Didn't see Padron standing back next to Sassano, and sadly the big man from Senegal played Padron through essentially. Gardner tried to come forward and make a challenge. I think actually I would rather him do what he did right there, and that was not quite make the tackle outside of the box and risk getting a red card and having to play a man down. But now, around about 30 or so minutes left of regular time, Tempo back level with TUSC, and albeit this isn't the way you want to start if you're Tennessee Tempo, not the way you want to start your season as a neutral. This game has had it all so far as Giovanni Padron puts in his second of the young season. Grandpierre with 2 defenders around him, still has it. Stanley charging, cuts back, gets pulled to the floor, play continues. Roscoff didn't know whether to keep playing. Now Jagney. Jagney outside. There's Ventura. Ventura's cross. Second post looking for Grandpierre. And it's going to be deflected out for a corner kick. But this game has delivered a little bit of everything so far. Couple mistakes from Tempo leading to goals. And now the boys in red here at home in their season opener are going to have to find a way to try and get all 3 points from TUSC, if not even stop this team here wearing all white from taking 3 points from them. Grandpierre will have the cross. Will have the corner, I should say. In swing and delivery near the second post. They are saying there was a deflection, and it will be out for a Tempo corner. Alex Carrillo was adamant whenever he saw the delivery. Saw it go all the way through, and thankfully the linesman over there saw what we saw. Should say saw what Carrillo saw, because I really couldn't see much from where we were at in the press box. Now it'll be Justin's out swinging corner. Headed out by Reichenberg. Nearly deflected out for an own goal, and that one's in the back of the net again. Tempo ahead 3-2. This game just has it all right now, fans. I'm happy to be calling this game on the TNT FC Sports Network. Goalkeeper for TUSC will blast that one out of the back of the net as it was dang near an own goal, and then it was saved and then ricocheted off as the goalkeeper couldn't quite keep his hand on it. And now Tempo showing why they're one of the better teams in this UPSL division right there, despite allowing TUSC back into the game on 2 separate occasions. Now they managed to put themselves right back ahead 3-2, just about 3 minutes removed from the last goal from Giovanni Padron. Now, if there's ever been a time for a team to really focus, it has to be now, as this TUSC team, as I mentioned in a little bit of the pregame or right at the beginning of the game, never like to go away easy, and they're showing that right now. Tempo, I see, have one player warming up. TUSC without anybody getting warm just yet. It's Mo Pensie's pass into the middle. It's number 6, getting my numbers mixed up now. I want to make sure that I'm giving due credit to home and away players. That one's driven ahead. Carrillo forward with a nice header down to Roscoff. There's Grandpierre. Grandpierre held off the ball well there by Zawinski. And now Padron not going to have the height he needs to bring that one down. And one thing I can say about Padron is he finds a way to score goals, and as a poacher's goal if I've ever seen one last time up, as he was able to capitalize on a mistake from Musa Gay. Musa on Thursday, I thought, even though wasn't the goal scorer, was arguably player of the match alongside Emiliano Rodriguez, and of course the goal scorer, Goffin Oyerwath. Well, Musa was a rock back there, and he's been a rock defensively so far, but right there he got burned, and now he'll have 30 or so minutes left to make up for that mistake and try and guarantee all 3 points for the Murfreesboro side. Two defenders collapsing. Roscoff, Jagney. Jagney takes a touch past Thang. Sassano now ahead. As Carrillo outside. Good possession play. A lot of players fighting all over the pitch for the ball. And there's going to be a foul committed there by Templeton. You hear fans in the stands saying that's a foul and then also saying that's not a foul. Templeton walks away, as you can, or at least I can hear the referee in the crowd mic saying, just be smart, use your head. Right there, just a little bit of a push in the back of Roscoff. We'll restart. Grand Pierre now. Grand Pierre with Templeton in front, tries to cross it in, and it'll deflect out for another corner kick for Tempo. We'll blow the whistle and I think bring a sub on. Looks like Aaron Johnson will come off for TUSC. Have to see who makes way. Looks like it's going to be Grand Pierre. Steps back to dap up one of our ball boys tonight, Trayvon Dorsey, son of my broadcast producer, Eric Dorsey. Photographer, soccer player, tennis player, does a little bit of everything, does Trey. Waiting for the sub. I just had confirmation that's Brima Kamara about to come on for Stanley Grand Pierre. So you bring on one electric winger for another, something I'm sure TUSC doesn't want to see. I was talking about Cumberland players earlier. Now Kamara comes on. It was all conference standout for the Phoenix. Jagney's ball on the floor, going to be deflected out. Roscoff in a foot race. Now Gay puts it back forward, deflected again. Thang brings it down. And Thang actually has a foul committed on him by Brima. Brima and Thang, of course, were former teammates. I think hopefully there's not so much scorned friendships on the field. Hopefully some of these guys are still good friends. As I know Cade Good and Alex Carrillo I've seen get into it a couple times, but could just be some friendly banter. Pomeroy outside to Mupenzi. Moses looks ahead. Ball won back by Jagney. Now Roscoff ahead. Great ball. Ventura doing what he's done all night. Charging through. Still with this. Justin takes the shot. Deflected. Saved. Still not cleared out of danger yet. And that will be a goal kick as Justin Ventura as well as Mikhail Roscoff are just having games to remember tonight. Players all across this field stepping up in the place of a few different names that aren't on the sheet that typically would be. Dominic Oduro up to this point has got his legs a rest. Nathaniel Badai not in the lineup tonight either. So a few big-name players that you typically see playing for Tempo not in the lineup, but players stepping up in their absence. And now Danny Sassano might just be whistled for a card. Sassano, not happy with it. The whole TUSC bench, I'm sure, will be happy to hear that whistle blown and that card shown. Now, according to my stats here, 3 yellow cards to 2. So Sassano, I know, playing on a yellow. Trying to think of other players who are on the field on a yellow. I can't think for the life of me who has the other card right now. Maybe off the field for all I know. We'll have a set piece here from Good on his left foot. Delivery into the box. Creo gets the head on it. It looks like it'll take another deflection, and Sassano's on the floor throwing his hands up saying that he was pushed to the floor. He didn't just find himself there. Now in the 67th, just about to tick over into the 68th minute of this game. It's been thrill and action so far. Gay has 2 defenders in front of him to maneuver around. Ball over the head of Good. He'll play it all the way back. Watts giving chase. Goalkeeper takes a big touch. Nearly got punished for it. Header from Otuani. That's Phillip now. Phillip brought down by Pomeroy. Play continues. Roscoff wins it back. Outside with Kamara, the electric man from Sierra Leone. See what he can do playing along this left wing, taking the spot of where Stanley Grandpierre had been tonight. Of course, now along this near sideline, tempo attacking right to left as you see it. You have former teammates in Carrillo and Kamara, so something to watch between the two of them. Delivery from Jagney, handled by the goalkeeper. Sky-high punt, just about at the 40-yard line. Gay heads it forward. Now Kamara on the floor to Carrillo. Back to Gay, and that's Jagney now. Looks like Jagney going to be playing in the defense, at least for the moment. Sassano tracking back. I don't know if Danny's going to keep playing in the middle or not. Kamara takes a long touch forward in a foot race with Templeton. Templeton stands up. Brima, who will lay it back for Roskov. Roskov invites the pressure. Now Gay. Musa looks outside. That's Justin again. Justin defended by Mupinzi. Has Thang to help. He's somehow trying to manage both those defenders and made it look good for a moment. And now I think that'll be Max Hunt coming off the field to see what number it is that's coming on. I think that may be the brother of Justin Ventura, Christian Ventura. I just heard someone yell, "Go Christian." I know Christian, a former tempo player, now holding it down. Number 9. Let's see, do we have a number 9? Yes, indeed. That is Christian Ventura. Long throw from his brother. Headed out. That's Roskov. Roskov gets cleaned out on the edge of the box. And is that a red card? No, just a yellow card. And that, oh, it's the second yellow given to Cade Good. And Good will come off the field in not such a good mood as he'll be given his walking papers for a hard challenge at the edge of the box. He has plenty to say coming off the field, continuing to look back, not protesting too much. He'll give his captain's armband over to Giovanni Padron. Looks like Padron looking to hand it over. An early night for one of the many Cumberland players I've mentioned on the field. Eventually we'll restart with a set piece right on the edge of the 18-yard box. I'll be curious to see who actually takes the set piece. Grandpierre, I know, likes to take them, but he's obviously subbed off in this game. Ventura stood over top of it. He'll step away. It looks like Kai Phillip, who has a right foot. See what he can deliver with this ball. So we have the whistle to restart. Phillip approaches, rips the shot. Sadly was never on frame. Phillip trying to play the hero role a little bit right there. See who we have come in. I think from those orange shoes I'm seeing, that may be Dominic Oduro, but I really cannot see that well from here. Had some light confirmation that is Dom. Yeah, as I see the way he's walking out here, that is Oduro. Stepping off for him is Danny Sassano. Sassano kicks the bench. I think he's unhappy with that yellow card that he was given. Jagney, good deke and a turn. He'll go all the way back to Gardner. Now with Oduro on the field, even more nationalities. Ball pumped ahead. That's Watts. Watts header flicked on to Kamara. Kamara one-on-one with Templeton. Sends early delivery in. Deflected out. Watts left-footed shot. And make it 4 for Tennessee Tempo FC. Harrison Watts and Justin Ventura both hitting a ball off a one-touch volley. And just like that, in the 73rd minute of the game, we have the fourth goal scorer of this game, and Tempo doubled their lead at 4-2. It all started with Brima Kamara right there on the wing. Well, I should say it started with Harrison Watts, who headed it on to Kamara, and then Kamara put the ball back in, just trying to make something happen and add to the lead. And he puts it in, it's deflected out, and Watts, cold-blooded as he is, shoot it with the head, right foot or left foot. And right now he's on, I guess you'd call it just about a halfway perfect brace, as he could possibly, if he's able to put one more in the last 17 minutes, give himself the perfect hat trick on the night with the header and the left foot. Just needs a right foot to go along with it. But now, no foul. There we go. Foul is given. That was a big pullback from Padron, and I really think Padron has earned himself another yellow card with all of his antics, but I don't think a referee wants to have that happen. I'm not a fan of just sending players off, but he's been active all night long, and he will indeed be given his walking papers, as now Tennessee United are down to 9 men. I want to make sure that anybody's listening hears me whenever I say that I never want to root for one team to go down a man unless something is very obvious. I think Padron has got himself in the book really early on in the first half and made several challenges that I thought were just silly to make. And right there now, he makes his final one of the night, and he'll be given the early rest as there's still about 15 minutes plus stoppage time to be played. Tennessee Tempo will have 15 minutes and 2 extra men to try and build their lead. Looks like we'll have Brandon Adderley stepping on whenever we have our next break. He may be coming in for Watts, as I know they both play as really a true striker. Watts can play in behind a little bit. I've yet to see Adderley play. Big switch to restart. That's Carrillo. Left footed ball, pumps it ahead. Phillip tries to keep it in. Adderley waiting eagerly on the sideline. That's going to be blasted out of play by Pomeroy. And now Adderley will sub in for Harrison Watts. 6 goals scored tonight, 1/3 of them scored by Harrison Watts, who scored the opening goal and now the final goal of the game to this point. So he scored the first and the 6th. Impressive numbers from the big man wearing number 22, and if I was calling a baseball or softball game, I'll call it Deuces Wild. So number 22 puts 2 in the back of the net. Tennessee Tempo also lead by 2. Throw in from Kamara as Otuani, who now goes to Carrillo. Skip pass over to Jagney, playing in the back. Mo, do-it-all player, playing in the middle or in a back 3, back 4, wherever you need. Just going to come in and do a job. Same with Kamara. Kamara, a guy that can attack or defend. It's hard to replace work rate, and he's got a lot of it. Oduro took over the captain's armband when he stepped on. He's another player that I know he plays in the middle, but I feel like you could put him just about anywhere you wanted, and he would find some success. Kai Phillip giving chase to Non Thang. Now Phillip cramping. Kamara tries to put it forward. It's going to be cleared out now. Nice composure from Gay as Christian Ventura was giving chase. As Carrillo again. Back with Kamara. Kamara's pass a little bit too far for Otuanyi. TUSC wins it. Going to skip all the way back through to Kimo Gardner. I was talking just moments ago about all the different nationalities that we have on the field right now. I believe Kimo Gardner's Trinidad and Tobagan across the back line. Jagney, I believe, is Gambian. I really apologize if you're not Gambian, but I'm nearly certain you are, Mo. In the middle, from Senegal, you have Musa Gay, Mexican-American Alex Carrillo. Dominic Oduro from Ghana. Seth Otuani, Nigerian. Brima Kamara, Sierra Leone. Ball in, searching for Adderley. I was just made aware, I think, on the live stream that my statisticians here accidentally put the red cards on Tennessee Tempo. If you saw that pop up, hopefully you were watching or listening and you know that they weren't given to the boys in red, ironically, as I don't think they've been shown a red tonight, though 2 have been given to TUSC. Number 10, Cade Good, and number 29, Gio Padron. But finishing up what I was saying about all the nationalities, up top, the Bahamian, you have Brandon Adderley. Next to him, Kai Phillip. Kai, I apologize. I'm not actually certain where you're from. You've not been with the team for massively long, but there's a Russian stepping forward trying to keep that ball in play. So we've got all the nationalities, every continent, it feels like. If we can add Australia and Asia, I think that we would have just about all of them checked off, except maybe Antarctica. I don't know if they have many soccer players out there. Throw in from Mupinzi. A lot of contact. Ball now taken back by Roscoe off the heel of Pomeroy. He's going to try and get out of his own half. Oduro has it. Now Ventura. Roscoe, Oduro, and Ventura combining for a beautiful triangle on the far sideline. In Tempo attacking right to left here in the second. Carrillo has Kamara outside. Kamara cuts in. Now cuts back outside. Holding up Thang. Now it's Roscoe with Ventura. Back to the Russian. Everybody on Tempo is in the attacking half of the field. Otuonyi charging ahead. Shoots. Make it 5. Seth Otuonyi adds another goal in the 80th minute. And Tennessee Tempo FC are just running away with this game right now. I said this has had everything if you were a neutral, but now it's had even more if you are a Tempo fan, as this game went into the break tied 1-1. Both teams answered with a goal of their own. Tempo going ahead first 2-1. TUSC getting back in it, capitalizing off a Tempo mistake to make it 2-2. And since about the 58th minute or so, it's been absolutely all Tennessee Tempo as they pulled this lead out to 3. And now looking to continue to pour them on and just build up that goal differential, as it's something that could be really important down the stretch. We restart in the 81st minute. Looking long. They will recover it off the kick. Now Oduro. Ventura on one side. Roscoe looking to deliver. On the floor. I think that's Tensei Wosinu. Inside, that's Adderley. Adderley tries a glancing header. Can't quite get on it. I think he was just wanting to try and redirect it, probably put a little bit of spin on it and get it to go in that far post, but couldn't quite get the bend on it that he needed. Right there, one, that's Wosinu. Forward to Adderley. Adderley's onside. Adderley can shoot. Well saved. Reichenberg, Mupinzi. Mupinzi tries to clear it. Can't quite get it out of his own defensive third, but will win the throw-in. Now Mupinzi will clear it. Carrillo and Thang both there. Carrillo gets the better of it. Now Kamara. Kamara's going to shoot. Saved, bobbled, and then cleared out for a corner. Brian Kamara trying to put his own name on the score sheet. Restart play quickly. Must have not been a corner. I thought that it was a corner. I looked down to write something down, and then the ball was already in play, so it must have been a throw-in. Trio of substitutions ready to come on for TUSC. Jagney with space ahead. Delivers across on the floor. That's Otuonyi. Otuonyi still dribbling. Going to lay it off outside for Ventura. Left-footed cross in. Wosinu tries to shoot. Now Adderley. And then handled by the TUSC goalkeeper. That ball going to go all the way back. Musa Gay and Kimo Gardner not on the same page, and Gardner just going to have to clear that one out. And that will allow all 3 subs to come on for TUSC. Have to get numbers as soon as they turn their back, as there's no numbers on the front of either team's kit. Not that that's massively common in the professional game, but makes it a bit easier as you have in college. See Sam Pomeroy going to be given his walking papers along with Nan Thang. Iker Rodriguez will step on for Tempo. See if I can see some numbers. Let's see, number 12. Oduro plays it forward. Number 12, that's going to be Micaiah Bain. That's brother of Nathan Bain and Caleb Bain. 2 boys that I know well from their time with Tempo. And there's one of the subs. Now Kamara with space ahead. Cuts it back. Going to shoot. Deflected. And that's an own goal and make it 6. It's a flurry of goals for Tennessee Tempo FC as now they continue to pour them on here in this second half. And after this game was sat at 2-2, I thought this was going to be real trouble for Tempo, but they have proven me wrong in every way. And right there, Brian Kamara tried to take the shot from range, takes a big deflection off the defender, and now make it 6. Now play restarts. I see on our scoreboard that it says 6-3. We're getting that ironed out. It is still at 6-2. Now, Wosinu has it. Plays the ball forward for Adderley. Adderley turns. Left foot ball to Roscoff. Roscoff cuts in. Right-footed curler. And not far from being the 7th as Tempo are just pouring it on this Hendersonville team. 85th minute. I can't assume with there being this many goals scored in this game that there'll be too much added time, so I would think we've got about 7 or 8 minutes left to play. I need to count all my goal scorers in this one as they've just continued to pile up. No, Harrison Watts has 2. Justin Ventura has 1. Brima just scored an own goal, so not really his goal, but I'm going to say Brima scored the own goal because he's the one that put it in the box. Meeting of the minds here with me as we're trying to figure out everyone who scored a goal. Sometimes, as simple as it sounds, actually pretty easy to lose track of the goal scorers. Giovanni Padron with only 2 for TUSC. Ventura puts the ball back into the box, handled by the goalkeeper as the man from Sierra Leone was trying to make it 7. Iker Rodriguez defending on the far sideline. Iker wearing the number 19. Subbed on when we had our trio of subs for TUSC. Roscoff, rightly so, looking a little bit tired right now. Not quite as quick on the ball as he had been, but man, Mike, you have made a fan in me. Ventura with it. 2 defenders in front of him. That's Iker, who lays it off to Oduro. Flicks it quickly to Jagney, who's back in the middle. Iker is another Cumberland player, actually. Cross is deflected from another Cumberland player, that being Moses Mupinzi. So this should just be called the Cumberland Derby, I think, right now, with all the Cumberland players we have on the field. Cumberland University, of course, being national tournament team in the NAI, if you are unaware tuning in. A lot of really good talent in the NAI. It'll be Justin Ventura's cross. Near the second post. Header from Wusinu. Can't get much on it. Deflected out to Roscoff. On the floor to Kamara. Kamara, early cross. Second post. Carrillo is going to be out of bounds, they say, or the ball is going to be. Justin Ventura thought that he had his second of the night. Roscoff getting tied up with Carrillo. Really good in possession right there. His tempo puts Kamara in space. This is somewhere you don't want to be one-on-one with Brima. Good tackle. Two of them with a battle. Brima gets past him, sneaks in inside, trying to find Adderley. We cleared out by TUSC. Carrillo skip pass to Rodriguez. Ventura looking for an outlet forward. Brima again with an acre of space in front of him. Early left-footed cross. Header from Adderley. Followed up. Skied by Tensei Wosenu, who I think got a little bit nervous in front of the goal. And he sent that one to the moon as Brandon Adderley got a head to it, but Tensei unable to keep that one down. So I said it was so impressive about both Watts and Ventura's goal is it's really hard on a volley to keep the ball from skying on you, and Tensei right there let that one go a little high. Now the punt, flicked on by Reichenberger. Rodriguez loses the ball, wins the ball, loses the ball, wins the ball back. Playing hot potato with the forward here for TUSC. Travella pass from Roscoff. Brandon Adderley's chasing it. Adderley left-footed cross into the box and off the crossbar and off the American football goalpost, or off both crossbars, really. Wosenu nearly had what I'm nearly certain would be his first Tennessee Tempo goal. Definitely for the first team, but lets that one get past him. Speaking of the devil, I was just talking about Brima Kamara with my mic muted as we were trying to figure out who all had scored the goals. And as we tick directly over past the 90th minute, this game will be called. Tennessee Tempo will pull out a 6-2 victory in this game. Great performances all across. Two players shown early exits for TUSC. Looks like all love on the field and on the sideline. That's what you like to see these types of things end. We had 6 goals scored. I know Harrison Watts had 2. Justin Ventura had 1. Seth Otuanyi had 1. Brima Kamara threw in the shot/cross that ended up being an own goal. I'm trying to figure out who had the 6th goal, and I can't seem to remember. But with that said, fans, the news is good here in Murfreesboro as your Tennessee Tempo FC take their season opener and home opener by a score of 6-2. If you're a Tennessee United fan, hold your head pretty high, as I know a 6-2 scoreline hurts, but they really gave Tempo a game early on. Giovanni Padron putting 2 in the back of the net, capitalizing on a pair of mistakes from Tempo, but boys in red just too much on the night, carrying that momentum over from Thursday night's win in the U.S. Open Cup into their opener in the UPSL Kentucky-Tennessee Conference spring season. From myself, Harley Dixon, my broadcast producer and cameraman tonight, Eric Dorsey, as well as everybody else here at Tennessee Tempo, we want to thank you for tuning in tonight to this season opener, if I haven't said it enough times, on the Tennessee Tempo FC Sports Network. We hope you enjoyed, and we'll see you back again for our next game. Thank you and have a great night. Well, fans, if anybody's still tuned in, I assume most of you all have left by now. We had a couple comments here in our comment section asking about where a U.S. Open Cup game would be, and I guess probably should have gave shout out to that, but the draw was officially made on Friday afternoon yesterday, and it was decided that we'll be playing Chattanooga FC at 6 p.m. Eastern Time, so 5 Central at Finley Stadium in Chattanooga. So it'll be the second Chattanooga pro team that Tempo will have played between the first and second round. Hopefully, fans, you enjoyed the first game. Hopefully you enjoyed tonight's game. And if you can, come out and support as Tennessee Tempo tries to carry the torch for all the semi-pro teams competing in the Open Cup and competing across the country in general. With that said, this time we actually are going to wrap up the broadcast. Thank you for tuning in. If you were able to listen, make sure to give us a thumbs up and subscribe, and we'll see you again soon.